And the goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Thanks for having us. This is a very cool show.
Yeah, so through many iterations, and we finally landed on the weirdest one by far.
Yeah, simple of feelings, and boom, you got a sound.
I remember this one time. I'd been writing some songs, and I went out. I'm just going right in on this story. I went out, and so I was.
The story's longer than the song itself. We'll go ahead and play it.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Today, day 5 of the daily livestream from Godfrey Daniels, and we have Blair Crimmins and all the hookers.
See you, hookers!
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless, and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Day 5 here. Musikfest Daily Livestream. I'm your host, Philip Reese, and look who we have here, Blair Crimmins.
Hey, look who it is. Oh, there's the camera.
There's the camera right there.
Hey, how's it going?
And we do have the full contingent of hookers.
Yep, they're all here.
And we're going to bring them on a little bit at a time because I don't have multiple cameras or microphones.
Yeah, we'll do it in pairs.
We'll do it in pairs, but we're going to start off with just kind of like our opening here. I'll go through some stuff here. You can chime in wherever you feel motivated to. But I just feel like no one wants to listen to just me. They'd rather.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here for you, man.
Right.
I'm hanging out.
And you have a much cooler vibe than I do, so they'll rather look at you too.
Cheers.
So here it is. Yeah, cheers to that. Here it is. Blair Crimmins and the Hookers. That's the promo shot there. And we're gonna start with. So I don't really have a preview from yesterday. Monday, so a couple of things. Monday was a lighter day. I think that typically happens. And I just needed kind of like a break because it's a long 10 days. Yeah. So I came down here, I did the live stream, and then I went and caught one band had a gyro, a beer, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to bed at 9-ish since it's going to be and the other thing is, starting tonight are some of the best nights at the festival.
Good to hear.
Yeah. In fact.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we did a preview show. Patrick Brogan, who's the programming director at ArtsQuest, myself and my co-host David Moore, we each kind of did secret ballots, if you will. Uh-huh. And I'll get into that in a second because I think it also is a testament to today and tomorrow's day at the festival. But we were not only picking bands to go see, but we were also picking what's the best day of the festival. Mm-hmm. And today was one of the three. David happened to pick it, but it was because of Tedious and Brief goes on before you, then Blair Crimmins and the Hookers, and then JJ Gray and Mofro, which was our top pick of the festival. That is only after we pulled out what we called returning favorites. So we weren't allowed to pick people who'd been on the show before.
Oh, wow.
So you were not an option.
All right. So
I'll even show you here.
That, and it was still a good, and it's still the best night.
Yes, yeah. Picking it up here, these are all the people who are returning. So all the interviews we had done over the last year, there were 11 bands coming back. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, is here we are. We're kind of at the midway point here, and these were done in chronological order of the festival. Only the first 2 are gone after 4 days. So on day 5, 2 more come in. You're here, and We Banjo 3 is playing tonight as well. Excellent. And tomorrow. But anyway, so that was there. And then this is the listing of who we each picked. And you can see, again, minus those first 11 returning favorites, JJ Gray and Mofro was the only one that was on all 3 lists and at the top. So tonight is a very, very special night. So we're very pumped for that.
Yeah, I'm excited about the show and then excited about hanging around and watching Mofro afterwards.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
on
the one
same
thing,
stage, right?
Yeah, same exact stage. Yeah, you guys just kind of, pack up and just stay there. Grab a whiskey.
Yeah. Sounds great.
But the one thing I wanted to share is the weather. So one guy we had on the preview show was Bobby Martrich, who's like a local weather guy. He's the one who does the forecasting for the festival. And he just said, hey, for the first 5 days, it's like a 50-50 shot of thunderstorms. And we've gone 4 for 4 with nothing. There's been thunderstorms around, but nothing hit the festival.
Was that thunder just now?
And that might be the thing. It's like, so we just keep going. Please don't. So anyway, this was his report. So I'm going to let it play a little bit tonight so you can hear, because he talks about a little bit tonight, and tomorrow might be where it happens.
Property Services,
and
proud sponsors of the Tuesday video forecast. Today we have a cold front moving toward the region, as you can see here in the video. Very easily to see where it is. We got a cold front that's sitting off to the northwest here. The problem is there's a ridge out here, mid-level ridge, that's blocking the advance of this. So it's not going to be in a hurry to move southeast, and so it's going to be a 2-day process. It's going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday deal for this finally to move through. And as I move this forward here on the European model, we can see this slow crawl today. Here's this afternoon and evening. Interior areas and central areas could get into an isolated thunderstorm today. Do you think the threat is going to be
one of the best parts about Bobby is he gives you, like, he talks in plain language about the weather reporting. So like he'll go into like why the model's predicting what it is in such a way that it's like understandable, not like boring. It's like 5 minutes for each day. And then when you're super fixated on, am I going to get poured on? You know, is the festival going to go, like, you know, into a shutdown mode? It's important stuff. So like, I think people want to know.
To tap into. So the whole concept
Are
of
we on air now?
Yeah, we're on.
Okay.
And the faster
we haven't had the best luck with rain the last few days. We've had a couple
well, we don't have a cold
rainy shows.
Oh, so you guys brought it with you?
Maybe so.
Yes, this is a cold
But we're going to
front,
break the streak.
but just
here
like just about every other cold front we've had since July, they're not very effective.
I'll tell you what,
because
if
there's
it
really
does
no
rain,
cold air
we
behind it.
have a backup
It's
plan.
cooler, but it's going from, say, 90.
We got rained out on
294
Saturday
to 88.
down in Georgia, and they
So
wouldn't
it's
let
not
us
really a
get
big
back
drop.
up on stage.
So
They
when
wouldn't
we
let
get
us
in
be around any of
the spring months, when we have
the
this
electricity,
erratic temperature
any of the
differences,
amps.
really warm one day and
So
then
after
back
we
to try
waited
and
around, the
again.
crowd all gathered underneath cover.
I remember seeing this on your
And
feed.
Yeah.
After
Like on
a while,
Instagram.
it was like getting towards the end of the night, and no music had gone on. There was another band that was supposed to go on after us, and nobody was able to get up and play. So we just went acoustic and did it like second line busking style through the crowd, and everybody loved it.
I'm sure they did.
I mean, they were starved for entertainment because they showed up and waited forever. So so they were really happy to actually hear some music that night. So maybe we could do that again.
Sure. I think so. It's something that I've always noticed about your show, and something I've commented on, previously, as to like, you don't really have, other than your pickups or your monitors, there's like no electricity there.
Right.
It's all either, strings or horns or percussion.
Mm-hmm. Outside of the vocals, I could use a megaphone or something like that.
True.
Which I did the other night, but yeah, we could pick up and play the stuff anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The interesting part about that stage that you're on is it's that one that's right in front of the stacks. I think you played on that stage last year, where you're undercover, the band's undercover.
Yeah,
but we aren't.
Right. That's true.
And other stages throughout the festival, as you know, they've tented, not only the stage, but a good bit of what's in front of it. But not at that huge space.
Platz was one of the big tents.
You've played there. Mm-hmm. They've had to close that one because when it rains a good bit, it floods out.
Yeah, I remember it was a mud puddle one year.
So the stage you're on tomorrow is a replacement for that one.
Okay.
So they went last year. They just didn't put it up because they couldn't take the risk because of just how nervous they were around COVID. Mm-hmm. That they were like, we are really kind of leveraging a lot of stuff here that we can't take a chance that we would lose a stage. So they just didn't set it up. Mm-hmm. They didn't take any chances there. They didn't book as many bands, that kind of stuff. But this year, when they were right back to it being like a full force kind of festival, they just didn't want to reuse that space because they were like, it's in a low lying area. Like it's going to flood out. So they put a stage on basically it's this, I don't even know what to call it. Like it's like almost like a town square, because it's the place where the public library is, the police station, City Hall. Mm-hmm. And it's got this amazing view looking out over, like it's on north side and it looks out over the river onto south side.
Okay.
And then you have the South Mountain and the whole Lehigh University. And it's this gorgeous view. You guys are going to love it.
Great.
Yeah. So we now have these two picturesque settings, the one that you're on tonight and then the one you're on tomorrow. And I think you're going to love both of them.
That's cool.
Anyway.
I was just saying earlier today, actually, the first 2 years we played Musikfest, we were in the cinema rooms.
Yes.
The blue cinema and the red cinema.
Yep.
And we were staying in Easton, we had a hotel out there. And so we would drive from Easton to the Steel Stacks and go into those cinemas and play our show and really not see hardly any of Bethlehem at all.
Right.
It wasn't until our third year coming up here that we went to the north side and we saw all the other Platzes. And we're like, man, we've been missing this whole town. There's a lot here than the little cinema room.
Yep.
So it's been cool to keep coming every year.
Definitely.
And learn more and know your way around. And now we know our way around a little bit. It's cool.
And Bethlehem does have this like fun-ish north side versus south side kind of thing to it. Yeah. Like south side's a little bit more like that's where the university is. So these are more of the pubs and the pizza shops and sandwich shops. And the north side has like, it's got the Hotel Bethlehem, which is a really high-end hotel. And, it's got the fancier restaurants and fancier shops. And so it just has that kind of vibe. And then there's always just like, if you live on north side, you live on south side, it's got that kind of thing. But it's all in good fun. Like
we're on the south side now, right?
We are on south side now.
Okay.
Yeah. Which there's a whole South Side Alliance. There's a special handshake. There's all this. But anyway, so that's the weather. It looks like hopefully there was like about 20 minutes of rain right before we started. Sometimes that eases things and it doesn't have to happen anymore.
Okay.
And then there's a chance tomorrow as well. But after that, the festival's clear. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all definitely clear, lower temperatures, lower humidity, and that's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be awesome, obviously, for the performers, the fest goers, and then also for ArtsQuest, because it will really mean a lot to them that they're going to have like that time really dedicated to all that stuff. So the other part that we like to touch on is what are the recommendations for today? And we touched on a few of them, but here they are. This is the and unfortunately that blocks you out, but it's the graphic. Yeah, there he is. That's outstanding. I actually get comments in the chat saying, "Can you take that ad out of the way?" And I'm like, "It's not an ad; it's the picks for the day." But anyway,
read it.
Yes, the picks of the Platzes. 2 of them are already passed, so I posted this earlier in the day because the festival starts at like noon every day. So Mr. No Name was on earlier on Main Street, and then Emily Drinker. She was on the Main Street stage. This was like either the second or the third time she performed this festival so far. Let me just bring up one of her songs because I think she's terrific. She's a Philadelphia performer, so she is local, and hopefully we'd be able to get to see her again. So here is Emily Drinker's song, Enough is Enough.
Enough is enough. I can't believe I let it go this far. Time to get unstuck and get out of your orbit for once and finally for all. I'm beating myself up.
So, sadly, if you're listening to this now and saying, wow, I'd really like to go see Emily Drinker, sorry, you missed it, but definitely check out her music. I think she's tremendous. The band behind her is super tight. And you can see there, it's not just all singer-songwriter.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
But yeah, didn't see that coming. Again, like I said, she's Philly, so she'll probably be around. She'd actually be great in this space for Godfrey Daniels.
Sure.
So there's Emily Drinker. And then the next one we have up is where we start getting to your stage. So Tedious and Brief. They are like originally Chicago, I think based in Nashville now. And they have a very cool sound themselves. So we'll bring up their song Paper Cuts, which again is probably not exactly what people were expecting. They played the festival last year. And in fact, I got to announce them like the way I announced you 2 years prior.
Oh yeah.
And then they just have a cool sound. I just hit play here.
Tedious and Brief.
Tedious and Brief, yeah. And again, you're going to get to hear them probably as you're either backstage or sound checking or whatever. Like they'll be on they'll be on 5 to 6:30, right on that same stage you're on tonight, and then you go on at 7. So like this will be you'll definitely hear towards the end of their set.
It's got a cool vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very atmospheric.
Definitely. Anyway, so there we have Tedious and Brief. Good. So we move on to Blair. I actually took recording of you last year that I'm gonna play that video. A cooler way
All
that
right.
we can definitely check out. So we'll start
On
uploading that.
Levitt Platz stage? Or?
It was the night before. It would have been when you were on Zinsenplatz. Yeah. So I'm going to play that in a second. So we'll come back to that because that'll be a good transition into chatting about you all. So for now, what we're actually going to do is bring up We Banjo 3. We almost have dueling banjos tonight. But We Banjo 3 is much more bluegrass, much more Irish, kind of sound to them. They have a new album with some new music out, so I was going to play a little bit of that. Here's Hummingbird. And they were at Merlefest. This is actually live from this tour they're on right now about 2 months ago. Have you ever seen them?
No.
They're wonderful.
You came floating by, wings never miss the beat, colors bold and bright, blue and gold and green. You know you can stick around, you don't have to leave. My hummingbird love.
Some very cool banjo, guitar technique he's got.
My hummingbird love. Try not to scare you away. My hummingbird love. Begging for you to stay. My hummingbird
So they are from Galway.
Oh, okay.
And it's a slight plug for the interview. So Enda Scahill, who was the guy on the banjo, we interviewed him back in January. And it's a very cool interview, just learning all about like how they formed, and even though like their name is We Banjo 3, but there's 4 members. That's kind of a fun story. But he talked all about how like he came touring with a traditional Irish group when he was younger into the U.S. And he just would, when he was down in like the southern states, he started hearing bluegrass music. Mm-hmm. And they were coming up to him talking about how are you playing, I forget what he said, a tenor banjo with a flat pick or something like that. And they were just like so interested on how his technique was working. And he was wanting to learn about their
5-string finger picking
and
stuff. Yeah.
Right. And so he took that music back home to his brother. Actually, his brother is the one on the fiddle who was the 4th member who got added. Mm. He brought it to those the other set of brothers, because it's 2 sets of brothers. And they just sat around with banjos playing bluegrass music. And he's like, just hours flew by. And he was like, it's such fun music to play.
Very similar to Irish music. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so he then basically they started to divvy up. Someone stayed on banjo. Someone picked up the mandolin. Someone picked up like regular like acoustic guitar.
Because it's that easy.
Right. Well, that's how they then started to write songs that were a lot more interesting than just 3 banjos. But that's part of the interview, and it's very, very cool. And now they play at the White House every year because there's like a Friends of Ireland Day at the White House, and they performed for President Obama. They just did it for President Biden, and so that's how they're kind of a big deal. So they were definitely fun. And then lastly, we got to feature JJ Gray, since he was the kind of our top choice here.
Where are they from? They're from Florida, I think.
JJ Gray is Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah. And so here's their song, "Brighter Days." This up a little bit. I think he has a great voice. Such a cool, like bluesy Southern rock vibe. Even some gospel in there. Like,
for sure.
I'm looking forward to this. Like again, what a 1-2 punch for me. Like one of my favorites, and then one of my ones I've never seen him perform before.
All about home, man.
Unfortunately, I'm going to shut him off here, but let's just zip forward a little bit.
Get to the meat.
Problems.
Only because we went over on my recap here, and I want to get to your guys.
Cool.
Chatting and story and such.
Well, this is a pretty laid-back number, but they do some real upbeat, swampy, danceable blues jams and things like that.
For sure. So let's take this off the screen here. And now let's, for one last thing here, let's play some Blair Crimmins and the Hookers.
Oh, all right.
So here's your, I think you're playing It's All Over Now. Yeah, it's all over now. And you can start seeing some of the hookers back there.
And I'm a hooker too.
And yes, yeah, we definitely should start with that. And this is what you're in for if you come down for Dixieland Jazz. Is that what you would call it?
I still call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That describes it. Maybe a little bit of ragtime and
Sure.
hot jazz.
Mm-hmm. And this is where again we're saying like there's no plugged-in instruments. It's all brass guitar, stand-up bass, drums. I featured a little solo here. I didn't even expect that.
What? I think I did all right. This was a fun show because it really felt like our first one back. You know,
Sure.
We hadn't toured in over a year, and it all started with this trip back up to Musikfest. So that first show of the first tour back, still getting our sea legs, but it felt great. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it shows. Like I think a lot of performers last year, you could see this. Like I remember, there's a local band, Slingshot Dakota. They finished their first song and they burst into tears when they got applause.
Yeah,
because they had been performing.
I got emotional too. Yeah.
I had always likened it to like, you know, if you're performing virtually, like it's like telling a joke and knowing it was funny, but no one's there to laugh.
It seemed so long, and you weren't sure when it was going to come back,
Right.
and you maybe had even just a touch of fear about getting back on the road because at that last summer, you know, it was looking really bright, and then the Delta variant came in and kind of put a damper on things, and people started putting back more precautions and stuff, and so. And you're looking at this tour and thinking, okay, well, we're still going, you know, let's get in the van and do it. And then when we showed up here, everybody was just so happy and free and almost back to normal. And yeah, it brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah. And I think too, like being an outdoor festival helps too.
Yeah.
Last year, this year, I think we're in a much better spot from a headspace standpoint. But last year it was helpful for a lot of people to say, it's outdoors. That seems to be a big difference. And it seems to be.
Yeah.
But I think that's helped people feel a lot more comfortable about it.
Yep. Our summer has been mostly outdoor shows. So that's good for now until it gets cold and we have to go back inside and try and pull people in.
Yeah. Do you ever come up north not during the summer? Like, do you ever head up this way?
I have. Yeah. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I also was just always wondering, like, I feel like right now there's always just this opportunity to catch a show of yours, and I would just love to catch it other times in the year. So I just didn't know if there was something Philly or New York or anything like that.
Yeah. We've done some fall tours and some winter tours, and some of them have been kind to us, and some of them have been really, really tough. And we've been snowed in New England before, and
I'm sure
done all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if we mentioned this before, but Atlanta, Georgia based, right? And so obviously coming up north, going to be trickier.
Yeah, we're out of our element in that situation. Yeah.
And even the ride up here this time, there was a little bit of a last night.
I'm used to that. I'm used to blown out tires. Actually, that's the second time this has happened. That happened in Bethlehem.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe so. You know, that's not the first time I had to go to Larry and Wayne's auto shop and get the trailer.
They should sponsor your tour next time.
Larry and Wayne, they'll take care of you when you're marooned in Bethlehem.
That's right. Yeah, look for Larry and Wayne. Shout out to Larry and Wayne. And then you recently released, I guess not recent anymore. It was like a year ago, that new vinyl
Right.
the OK Boom album.
That's right.
How was the reception to all that? It seemed great.
We brought that with us last time we were up here. Yeah, it went well. It's doing well now. We're selling a lot more copies now. We're playing more. But we put that album together. I mean, in particular, I know a lot of people in Bethlehem would come up to us after the show and say, which album has Jambalaya on it? Which one we do a cover of Psycho Killer that does well, and people would say, which one has Psycho Killer? And my answer was always neither. Right. We'd have all original music, which, does well too. But eventually we decided, as we have 3 albums of original stuff out, and let's put these covers on. Let's do these covers. And so come out and get your copy that you've been asking for for the last
there's
8 years.
Psycho Killer, there's Let's Dance, and Lust for Life.
Yeah, those are the modern songs.
Right. And then you're covering older jazz tunes as well.
Yeah, we make vintage versions of the new stuff, and then we do like some of the more classic Bessie Smith and Sweet Georgia Brown and Louis Armstrong and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's it is a cool, nice part about it. I'm with you. Like, I don't I'll go and want to listen to someone's original music, but listening to a Dixieland jazz version of Psycho Killer is pretty dope.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to make, and it sounds great, and I'm really glad we did it. And when you come up and ask which one has Jambalaya on it, I'm gonna say Boom.
You're right.
Which is the name of the album. OK Boom.
Yeah, and
we finally did it.
Yeah, it has really cool graphics to it and stuff because you did something similar to like the old Batman kind of cartoon.
Yes, it was based on that meme of Batman slapping the guy in the face. So when I told the artist the name of the album was OK Boom, he was that immediately came to mind, and then I was like, let's do that, but with a banjo instead. And I had a picture of me holding the banjo like a baseball bat and sent that over to him, and he knocked it out, and it was good to go.
Yeah, so I actually have it too. So it's a very cool, like, just overall vinyl.
You have it on CD and vinyl?
Yeah, well, just the vinyl.
I'll give you the CD. You have a CD player? I don't know.
It's funny, like computers don't even have them anymore. But so I do have a side, like a side piece that helps me rip the CD.
Tell us more.
Yeah, right. Speaking of side piece, let's bring up some hookers. So you mentioned earlier, and this is probably a good transition to that. So like you say this in the show, you're a hooker too. And you even have a song, Wouldn't You Like to Be a Hooker Too?
Right.
And so that's because this is your part of the band.
Right.
And that's kind of the vibe you're getting.
Yeah, the concept of the name is not just to demean my band members, but also to demean myself.
Sure. Yeah. And then anybody who's joining in too, because there's T-shirts too, right? It says I'm a hooker too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So you can really lean into this if you want. But who's coming up first?
Danny White-Tennis, our trombonist extraordinaire, who's been with the.
We'll definitely do this here.
Been with the hookers the
a
longest
little more.
of anybody.
This is, you just make sure you're in. So that's
there he is.
Yeah, there you go.
All right there.
So tell us about yourself.
I've been playing with Blair. I think we hadn't realized this until just a few moments ago, but it's been 7 years, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 18 at the time, and did a music festival with an artist, and the person running the stage was a mutual friend of ours. Was saying that he needed a trombone player. And sent my info, and just kind of started playing.
And then I heard he was 18, and I was like, let's see about this guy. But he was like, oh, no, we'll take this dude while we could get him, but he's he's probably going to go off to Juilliard or something like that. But he decided to be a working musician and he played.
Any other project solo stuff? Anything you're doing there?
Yeah, I tour with a band called Ghost Note.
Okay.
It's a funk band, and then I have a band of my own called Groot. Where
check out Groot.
Write, some synthesizer and trombone music.
That's cool.
Yep. So between those two and Blair,
I'm sure you're super busy, busy enough. And just we can deal with everyone based in Atlanta, or are you guys from different places?
Yeah, we all live in Atlanta.
Atlanta, really great music scene there too. That's what
diverse.
Always is like. Yeah.
There's a lot of different pools of different types of music spread throughout the town, and on any given night you can hear 6 different styles played authentically.
Yeah.
And as a session player, I mean, you tell me sometimes you'll get in the van and say you did like a trap gig the night before, on trombone. You know,
that's
Trap
awesome.
Bone.
Trap Bone.
Trap Bone. That would be a good
That's
band
my
name,
buddy.
too.
He's Trap Bone. Shout out Trap Bone.
Nice, very cool. And so so you've been with the band 7 years. So you've been up to Musikfest. You were in that video.
Yeah.
Any good Musikfest stories? Any?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep some
Keep some to
nice
yourself.
We saw there was a band last year that had Haley's Comet song. What's that band called?
I don't know.
I just saw Haley's Comet shoot away. It was like a famous song in 2010. We saw them last time we were up here. Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay, yeah.
I think. And then we saw Kesha.
We went to the Kesha
All of our
show.
favorite bands.
Well, it's funny, like you say about having that diversity of options. Like you heard Tedious and Brief, who's on before you, sounds nothing
Very
like what you
different,
guys sound. Sometimes they try and keep a stage consistent through the day,
Right.
and then sometimes they want it to be diverse. But even if it is, the stage is consistent. Each stage that you could walk to, there's 15 free stages,
Yeah.
and then one headliner, so 16 total.
Not a lot of festivals like that.
No, and like it's all really good too. So it's like even if you just walk up and it's not my thing, you'd be like, well, I still have respect for the artists, but I'm going to move on to the next stage, and then
It's
that
cool.
one is awesome.
Yeah.
It might be right up your alley. So.
Yeah, keeps people moving around the town too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then you obviously have like the food vendors, and they're different across the festival as well.
Which we were missing some of the food vendors last year, but I hear they're all back.
That's right. Yeah, there is definitely a healthy contingent. But yeah. So anything else you want to promote or share or?
Just the next couple shows we have.
That's right. Yeah.
Come out to
see
us.
us.
So yeah, it's
Tonight.
7 o'clock tonight. I think it's 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing I wanted to mention too, I'm hoping to mention this throughout the week, is like, in addition to not being sure if there was enough shows to get you going through COVID, now that they're back, gas prices go up, and other things increase and so on. So now it's all of a sudden like, well, great. Even though I'm back to gigging, it costs more.
Yeah.
So I'm like really trying to encourage people, if you like the band, go buy some merch.
Yes.
Or just sign up for Patreon. I don't know, anything to support.
I just bought 2 new trailer tires too, so
There's
if
that
you could,
too.
if you could buy like 100 records.
That's right. Yeah. Because the streaming and the stuff, there's no money in that for you all. It's really just a window into what you do, and it's more about the gigs and it's more about the merchandise.
Yes.
So that would be the other thing.
Thanks for mentioning that.
Absolutely. I think it's important because I don't think a lot of people. I don't know how many people are aware of how little Spotify, Apple, all that stuff would generate for you all.
Right.
And if they really like it, then they've got to support what you're doing in the ways that
people here have always supported us at the merch booth.
Yeah, cool. Very cool.
They always show up. And I dug up I dug up some old records that I didn't know I had. I have a bit of a novelty item for first come first serve. I found some of the old State Hotel EPs on vinyl, which is it's a 45 and it's a 10-inch, so it looks like an old 78. And I didn't know I had 2 boxes of those sitting around. So
Very cool.
I got rid of some stuff, and there they were sitting underneath a bunch of garbage, and threw them in the van. So come and get one.
That's very cool. Yeah. So there you go. You heard it here first.
Yep.
State Hotel EP.
That's a new item.
A new item, old item.
An old item, yeah. back on the table.
We're bringing him back again. So cool. So who else are we bringing up?
Rhythm section next.
Nice. Yeah, thank you so much.
David Tyberg and Adam Wolf, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. So, David.
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome.
Hi.
And tell us a little about yourselves, the instrument you play, maybe some background.
Well, I'm the bass player for the Hookers. I actually just joined the band during the pandemic. For a long, long time, I was playing electric bass in a rock band, and it was kind of my pet project. And that sort of wound down at the end of 2019. And the pandemic hit, and then I was, looking for a new project eventually. And Blair and I had crossed paths a couple of times, and he called me. We actually live pretty close by. And he was like, hey, so I know you play bass guitar. You play upright bass? I'm like, yeah, that's what I went to school for.
Oh, cool.
And he's like, I need a new bass player for the Hookers. Are you interested? So I sent him some videos, and the rest is history. And now I've been playing with the band for a year. This is my second time at Musikfest, and I'm super excited to be here.
Excellent. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Adam, and this is my very first time at Musikfest.
Wow!
I've only been
welcome.
I've only been playing with Blair for a couple months now, and I'm the newest member of the group, and I played percussion.
Got it. Excellent. Yeah, I've always it's recognizable when a band comes back every year that you see that the same members are there. So there's always been this of 6, 5 were the same or whatever. And so obviously life happens to some people. Or what have you.
Sure.
But it was always very clear, like other bands come back every year and it's like only the lead singer is the same and the whole rest of the band's swapped out for something else. Still sounds good or whatever, but there's a testament obviously to you guys all want to play together. So be ready. You'll probably be doing this now for a decade.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, this guy
Fingers
here got
crossed.
me involved, and
It's true.
Yeah.
He and I've been playing for
A good while, 5, 7
something
years,
like that.
something like
Yeah,
that.
like just doing jazz around Atlanta and beyond.
Sure. Yeah. And then so the rock music, the electric music that you were doing, were you in a similar type band before that, or were you doing more of the jazz?
I'm a session musician,
Got it.
and I was doing any number of gospel, country, hip hop, anything.
Got it. Yeah, but so this style here, does this? I mean, clearly it's an attraction for you because you're doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a really good fit for me, actually. I went to school and studied upright bass, studied jazz, and I didn't do a whole ton of it after I got out of school. Most of what I was doing with Adam was pretty jazzy, but the Hookers are a really good mix of sort of more modern, rocky sort of feels, and then also that trad jazz kind of thing. And I get to just do all of that on my principal instrument, and it's been a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So your first fest, what did anybody give you like a heads up warning about, or something you gotta like make sure you try?
We're going. We're going, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I heard about some pizza.
Yeah.
I heard about the cup.
Yeah, the mug.
The mug.
I have one right there. Sitting
God bless the mug.
Yes. Yeah, the festival's been here 39 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was
And
that
so,
long.
and they've done a mug since year 1.
Wow.
So this format kicked in maybe after like the first, 10 years or so, but it's pretty much been this format. And now it's a very cool thing in that they put it out to like artists to be able to like submit the design, and then one gets picked, and it's kind of a fun thing where it becomes like, so the mugs are a big deal. Definitely my always high recommendation is you got to get this thing called Aw Shucks Corn.
Oh, cool.
It's like almost like, it's not on a stick, but you hold it and it's just delicious.
Oh.
Great for hangover, like
Remedy.
salty, delicious mess.
Well, that's good.
The only thing is it gets all over your face and you're like,
That's okay. I'm only performing soon.
right. Well, yeah, save it for either late
just
night
in
or
quarantine.
when you first show up, and then someone can hose you off.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anything you want to make sure you get back to this year? Anything or missed out on last year?
I actually really want to get back to seeing my friends are in a band, and they're local to Bethlehem. They're called This Way to the Egress.
Yes,
and
love them.
Egress has been telling me about Musikfest for years and
Yep.
years. So it was really exciting when I found out I was going to come up. I got to hang out with them a little bit, and I got to catch their show. And I think they're playing right after us on a different stage. So I'm going to try to hustle back and forth between the two stages to see a little bit of both the performer after us on the Levitt stage,
you'll
and then
be like
over
me.
to see Egress.
For me, like this week is like my Christmas. So like people know that like actually my wife says that she calls herself a Musikfest widow because she knows that these 10 days she's not going to see me. But that's what happens to me too. Is like I'll be like looking at. I'm actually going to look up what stage they're on just to give you some guidance on that. But like
great.
The one set will end, and I've got like 30 minutes to get to the other one I really want to get to. So I'm like, okay, what's the fastest way to get there?
Yeah.
Can I fill up my mug along the way and not be late? But anyway, it's just kind of funny how like those moments happen, and it's like you can really just jam in all this awesome stuff. So
Festival time management.
exactly,
Yes, it's its own skill.
All of my other friends are like, "You are an idiot." But then guess what happens? The day they come down to the festival to join for the day, they're always like, "So, tell me who to go see." And I'm like, "Oh, now you want to know." Anyway, so while we're swapping out, I'll look up and see where Egress is playing.
Oh, awesome.
And so, because this is plug for the Musikfest app is very, very good in that you can just look up a band. It'll tell you what day, where they're playing, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's
so anyway, who's coming up next?
Us.
The horns.
The horns. More horns. So let's see. While that's happening, this way to the egress. So welcome to the show.
How's my hair?
It's looking good. Yeah, you can look at it here. Camera's there.
Oh, okay. Probably looks better.
Hi, Mom.
Head on. Yeah.
I'm sure she's watching. So yeah, introduce yourselves.
My name's Ryan Moser.
Right.
I play trumpet. I've been in the band since 2017, so I guess 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up playing. Honestly, like most of my trajectory is very classical, like classical trumpet.
Got it.
But then once I like moved to Atlanta, I realized I was like, man, I'm gonna starve if I don't like. I need to learn how to play jazz.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, I'm sure there's not a lot of money in classical trumpet.
Well, it's for about
5 people.
Well,
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
I mean, so like you're good for like 6 or 7 months, maybe 8 months,
right?
But then there's like 4 other months where there's like
nothing going on. Yeah.
So and it was very serendipitous because I really shed that hard because at first when I got called to play with bands and play like jazz kind of stuff, I would just like memorize stuff that sounded jazz like,
right?
You know. And then eventually I was like, I can't fake it. I can't keep faking it. Like
Hard to fake jazz.
Yeah. So then I actually figured it out and shed it. And it was very serendipitous because I ran into not this guy, but one of our other saxophone guys, and he was like, hey, would you be? We may need another trumpet player. Would you be interested in like sitting in with us one time? And then
that happened.
The rest is history.
Yeah. I had heard that the guy was trying to choose between like a tuba and a sousaphone.
Right.
When he was younger.
Yeah.
And he just said that he realized that if you're a tuba player, there's only like one tuba player in the symphony or whatever, and they hold the seat for 20 years.
Yeah.
So like,
and you have to be able to like play cello concerto while like standing on one foot or riding a skateboard. Like that's how you win one of those jobs. So anyway, it's very isolated. Yeah. So I don't know. This is much more fun to me.
Yeah. So yes. And so saxophone.
Yeah.
Excellent.
My name is Luke. I play clarinet, tenor, and baritone saxophone for Mr. Blair.
Mr. Blair.
Yeah.
And we already covered it. You're all Atlanta based. And so any other, like we were talking about before, side projects you're a part of or solo things, anything like that?
During the pandemic, I don't know why, but I kind of came back in love with video game music and like that kind of stuff. And I got a group of guys to get together and kind of do that. We put out a few videos on the YouTubes and whatnot, but now we have a semi-steady gig in Atlanta, and it's just, for me, it's just a passion project.
Sure.
But I don't know, it's just like all these guys that kind of understand jazz and kind of bring that influence into it, but we get together and play.
So do you pick a game and then like play to it?
No, that would be an end goal. I would love to do that, but yeah, right now, I mean, it's only like we did those YouTube videos during the pandemic, but then we've had maybe 4 or 5 shows since then. So we're still kind of trying to get all that work together, but we had Mr. Danny with us one time.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's just a blast.
That's
I love doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I started this during the pandemic because I was I think that's what the pandemic did for a lot of people. It was like, well, what would I really find fun to do? I have a little more time on my hands. So
the first project that I did during the pandemic was like one of those Brady Bunch looking videos with like everybody submitting stuff, and we did a Thad Jones big band chart, and I was just bored out of my mind, and I was like, I know my friends are bored at home too, and I won't have to pay them because they're bored, so let's all do this together. So and it turned out pretty cool, and I'm kind of proud of it. Yeah.
Excellent. Anything for you going on?
Well, honestly, playing with this band feels like that my outlet.
Yeah, sure.
Because I still do play classical stuff. I play in the Columbus Symphony.
Oh, nice.
And I do a lot of we actually teach at the same school.
Oh, very cool.
So teaching a lot, and I play the Columbus Symphony, play a lot of classical stuff around Atlanta, sub in the Atlanta Symphony a lot. Yeah. So for me, it feels like it's very freeing to play stuff like this because it's like, I don't know, just like not alter ego is the wrong word, but it's like, but it feels good to just like let go.
Oh,
like,
I completely
play.
completely understand that.
Yeah. So But yeah.
Yeah. And so you said you're 5 years with the band.
Yeah.
I think the first gig that I did was right before the pandemic kicked off. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in there.
Say like you've been putting in the work for
Yeah.
a couple years.
Yeah, a couple years. Funny story. I was supposed to be here last year, and then I decided I was going to go to Florida, and I hate Florida. Just to begin with. Sorry, Florida.
Yeah.
I know you're watching.
All due respect.
All
to
due
Florida.
respect to, anyway, so
which is funny because Georgia is like right there. Well, I guess it's like New York, New Jersey. Like it's probably like
I don't know. I'd rather go somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, I decided to go to Florida, and then I guess caught Delta, and I tested positive. I think like 2 days before we were supposed to leave.
Yeah. So if you saw us last year and you noticed that we didn't have
there
a
was
saxophone
no
player.
saxophone. Thanks, Florida.
Yeah.
But going back to one of the things that you talked about earlier is like Atlanta kind of being the scene that it is. I mean, like everybody in here, like we all do so much stuff, and it's just it's a cool town to be a part of. You know, I think after our next little tour that we do, you know, I do a lot of like theater work as well, like pit orchestra stuff.
Sure.
So, you know, anybody on any one night you can do sort of this sort of thing, or you can do some garbage video game thing, or you can play with the symphony.
It's a great city to work in as a musician.
Yeah.
And all the people you get to bump into, it's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, no, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And then so your first music fest?
Not my first music fest.
Okay.
I was here.
So like going back to like I guess 2019?
No, actually, I was here maybe 2017 or 2018 with a different group.
A different group?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and we played. I feel like it was like a theater or something. It was like inside of
probably the cinemas that he was talking about. So it was like a movie theater. Yeah. Yeah. They do tend to put jazz in there.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't want to bottle up the hookers. Like yeah. And that would be more for like listening jazz.
Yeah.
You know? Was that the type of band you were part of?
It's kind of a singer-songwriter thing, kind of in the same sort of vein, but jazz influence sort of stuff.
Got it. Yeah. Anything you're looking forward to either doing again or?
Well, honestly, one of my favorite things is just like walking down, not knowing what I'm about to get into.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
the stroll is, I believe, what we call it.
And then you just stumble upon something. You're like, whoa, what is this?
Yep.
This is awesome.
Yeah. We have those music fest moments all the time. In fact, the first time I saw you all was that for me. It was a Monday, which was always like a fun day to go down and just be like, all right, I'm going to go like again, like weekend was awesome.
Yeah.
This festival's still going on, but I'm just going to pop down for a beer and dinner like I did yesterday. Well, what happened was I walked into the Blair Crimmins and the Hookers show, and then the next thing I knew, it was 2 a.m. Like it was just like because you guys are on like 7, I think, followed by Squirrel Nut Zippers. So it was like
I remember that. Yeah.
Such an amazing like the tent ended up with like just not another body could fit in there. Everyone having an amazing time. So that was just like
people were like dancing in the mud.
Like, oh yeah, because that was one year that there was a flood. So
yeah.
Well, I guess it happens quite a bit, but not. Hopefully, it won't ruin things anymore.
Didn't stop
because you were on Folks Plots that night. That
didn't stop a single person.
Not at all. Never will. But yeah, so that was for me like what you're talking about is there's these music fest moments where you're just strolling around and you're like, what's going on in there? And then get a little closer, and boom, 90 minutes.
Yep.
So yeah, that's cool that happens for you all too.
Yeah.
I find it to be that, like, not only is it the music, but it's also like the food. Because you might be walking around, you're like I'm sure somebody might today be going, I've never had this gyro thing before. Like, what is that? And the next thing they're like, oh my God, I really love that. Whatever. Like there's interesting food options. Obviously, again, beers and such like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's kind of like a really fun place to just go try new things.
I was going to say I was looking forward to the Yingling Gold, I think, because I don't have that where we're from.
I think
they're the special one.
Yeah, they have Flight and they have a couple other ones. Yeah, they
just have like the singular Yingling down.
Is that right?
Down where we are.
Just got that one.
So they're a massive sponsor for ArtsQuest in general, and so there's a lot of taps of theirs that they offer a couple good options for that. Then there's also off the grounds are like some of our more local breweries and stuff.
Cool.
So if you go a couple steps off here and there. You might find some of that stuff. I'm sure ArtsQuest is annoyed that I'm sharing that, but again, hey, I'm just trying to support local.
Yeah, for sure.
And really, really delicious options. So there's lots of good stuff out there for
Absolutely.
that. But thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us.
But I can't wait to see you guys perform tonight. and tomorrow. Actually, my 80-year-old mother is coming in tomorrow, and I told her she's got to check out Blair Crimmins and the Hookers. She comes every year. Every year, she likes music, even at this age. She walks around. She loves getting around and listening to all the music. I'm 1,000%. If you see an 80-year-old woman dancing in front of your stage tomorrow, that's Patty Reese.
All right.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Blair, you want to come up so we can sign off?
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So there it is. We met the
band, folks.
We've met everyone, all the hookers.
Aren't they a good group of boys?
It is. It's so much fun. And again, like the camaraderie
Nice
is
boys.
there. It sure is. But yeah. So anything else for you? Like anything else coming up in the fall? Like I saw there's a little bit of a tour already kind of out there on your website.
Yeah, we're doing a lot this month, and going up to New York, New Jersey. Like I was saying, we do a little Midwest run, and then I don't know when the next time we're going to be up here. Before next year, but
I guess I'm kidding myself that there might be people who listen to me across the country, but like because you do have shows in the South.
Yes, you check out our website, and there'll be more shows added, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure as well.
BlairCrimminsandTheHookers.com.
Yep. And like I said, you were my very first guest. Like you actually gave me even a little bit of like not only inspiration to do it, but like validation that you would say yes to that. And then you came on the show and it like went smooth like this. You know what I mean? No, but I just mean like I just kind of asked you after the set and stuff, and you were like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm like, "Holy crap!" You said yes, and then led to another person and another person, and now here I've been doing this, a year now with like
that's great. Congratulations,
24, 25 interviews, and because I try and do like 2 a month. And it's just taking on steam. Like I'm doing this daily live stream here. Godfrey Daniels was so nice to let me set up here all week. And that's just leading to other opportunities. So anyway, it's just been a really cool thing. So I wanted to thank you for that because you will always be guest number one.
All right. You can't take that away from me.
Can't do that. So, and also, you also let me use some of your music. So here in the closing, we use the song. I think I said it before. It's all over now. So if you wanted to know what this song is, it's Blair Crimmins and the Hookers. And let's say goodbye.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you once again to Godfrey Daniels for letting us have the space here to be able to do all these interviews this week. Thank you to Blair Crimmins and all 6 hookers. 5 hookers? 5 hookers. 6 people.
6 with me.
6. That's right. Yeah. I unfortunately couldn't have immediate recall of everyone's name. But really appreciate all of you tuning in, and hope you enjoyed this one. I thought it was a pretty cool little deep dive into all of the band. Never done that before, so that was very, very cool for me. I will be immediately leaving here and heading down to the American Platz stage to catch TDs and Brief and Blair Crimmins and the Hookers, as well as JJ Gray and Mofro. Little Birdie said I might be actually introducing JJ Gray tonight, so looking forward to that. And I will see you all either down there at the show tonight or tomorrow, and then also enjoy the rest of your week. Hope to see you at a Platz soon.
It's all over now.